Yikes. Hello everyone, this is Corin, and today I bring to you another Enterprise match, where, as you see in the title, I was seal clubbing, so I decided to not upload it to Top Tier's channel, but on my own channel, since I think you guys would be interested in how Enterprise would work, well, how Enterprise functions. Oh wait, yeah, I forgot this wasn't a replay file. This was a video I recorded earlier. Maybe I forgot to display the team members, but to make it short, it's a double CV match. Both carriers are tier 8 on each side, and the surface ships range from tier 6 to tier 8. And we also have a tier 8 destroyer, I believe. Yes, we have an Orkan, and the enemy has a Benson. So here, to start off, everyone starts their game with Enterprise rockets, of course. They are the largest rocket squad you can ever have it, like in the entire game. So are Enterprise's fighters. You have 10 in total each fighter squad, which is just insane. You can literally wipe out any single other CV's attack squad if they run into your planes. And the reason why I decided to pick up Enterprise recently was because the rocket change. It was pretty obvious. The rockets were coming back, and I mean the rockets were having a really, oh hello Benson. We're having a really huge change to them that Enterprise can't do really good rocket strikes as before. Look right here, my Enterprise just turned easy 180. The Benson staying right there. I just drop, turn back around, and come back for a third strike. So Benson's right here. Broadside to my rockets. Go strike it one last time, and even though he's accelerating, he still lost 7k of his health pool at the very start of the match. Here I wanted to and you can see me kind of toxic in the chat because I've had this is my second match where my team just followed me for no reason. They all just clenched onto my flank wherever I was going to. They didn't want to push their own flank. They didn't want to take responsibilities. And that was what really pisses me off, since you should be on your own flank. I don't really care, whatever you're doing, stuff like that. You'll see later how this match turns out, and it's going to be quite a theme to watch. The last time I had this match earlier today in Enterprise, we still won, but it was we won in the most stupidest way you could ever think of. Right here, look at this Benson making a really serious mistake, and he did survive, but maybe if I had one more plane he would be dead. And right here, the Benson's already, I don't know, disabled out of the match, so I started to switch to my torp bombers. These torp bombers are the main source of damage on the Enterprise. Look at me farming 14k damage in 3 minutes from that Benson. He did not have a good time. But in order to maintain my PR, I know I am a bit of a PR grinder, but that's because I feel I know I try my best in matches, but sometimes I just like farming ships for PR, some juicy stats and stuff. I initially didn't want to give, I initially wanted to give the kill to some of my teammates by spawning that Benson. It seems like someone wasn't really, they didn't really shoot at him. So here, I'm just throwing my planes into 3 ships. I know they all have bad AA, but I think it's still something, right? This AA is still something to not look down at. As you can see, this is a disadvantage of leaving my torps dropping my torps too early, so that the Bismarck actually got an opportunity to accelerate forward. And at the same time, it's also something that I would really wish Aslan to have his ship movements, their ship movements, signals, whatever, like that thing that could show whether the ship's moving forward, staying stationary, or going backward. That actually helps carriers when you do a torpedo strike. But since lockdown is not really a thing for a carrier, like in a surface ship, you have a main battery. There goes first blood. You have your main battery. You can press X to lock down onto a ship, but that's not the issue for a carrier. You just go and well, you just strike the ship that's in your ellipse, your reticle, your torpedo straight. And by the way, I was pinging my teammates because at the first 5 minutes of the match, our team has been already cornered to the very top left part of the map, and that's terrible. Since once the guys from C push in, we're dead. We're in a really big crossfire, and we shoved 12 ships in such a little space. I know that it helps our team to piss off enemy carriers, but it doesn't really help since it's just tier 6. It's not tier 10. It still doesn't stop anything in particular, especially when the enemy has an Indomitable and a Kaga. No, that's really not gonna help. Those two carriers are just beast. Well, also Enterprise as well, but I just wanted to mention that tier 6 against a tier 8 carrier, the best way is to route text is to just dodge or something like that. This engage right here. I kind of want to replay this a bit. So this is a kind of a map hacks thing. All right. So here, in New Mexico here, even though he is a bit broadside to me, that I could strike him from going counterclockwise, I know that he was turning left to get away from our Bismarck, our Fuso, our Massa. So instead of going counterclockwise, I decided to go clockwise, since the New Mexico could turn left and then slide actually parallel to the map border. So that's why I went clockwise, and then as I expected, it eventually went broadside to my torps. So then I swung back around, did a quick 360 degrees, and struck again. Maybe you checked cases. So this is a new topic about me farming. Aside from me farming battleships, this is about Enterprise's reserves, and I just want to mention that Enterprise is just insanely. I mean, her torp bombers are just insanely good, and the reason is that these torp bombers have. I mean, you can print more than 2 planes, more than 2 torp bombers in an Enterprise, when Saipan only gets to take out 1. And that means that you can pretty much get 5, well, that's actually almost 5 torpedo bombers, which is more than enough for 1 torp strike when Saipan only gets 2. And that's still, it's still pretty much you could consider it that as the same amount of strike power, since you fly 5 Enterprise planes in, you get 2 die on the way there, and then you fly out. They still might die on the way home, but you get 3 to drop the payload. For Saipan, you might take advantage of the AA reduction of your last squad, so the 2 planes just go. They just get to. They just kind of survive, but then die out when they return to the carrier. And well, it's still too good for a tier 8 carrier to have such a regen. Enterprise honestly is a bit brain dead, I would say. Well, it's not brain dead, but it's just basically spamming the same type of plane. Yeah, I have to fix my own I have to reassemble what I was thinking about. Enterprise, maybe some people think it's broken. Her regeneration really is what makes her really strong and a bit broken compared to Saipan. Yes, I have to say that is something I would consider broken, but that's only when we compare it to Saipan. Since Enterprise bombers are really slow, I mean they're just like, even I think they are actually the slowest torpedo bombers in Tier 8. Even Implacable gets faster torp planes than this. I have to confirm this later, but I do know that Implacable planes, even though they are said to be sluggish, high health pool, but still Enterprise planes are just slow, man. They're just kind of slow. But that doesn't mean that the planes are bad. Like still, you get insane regen. If you ask me how fast the regen is, I'm just gonna say 54 seconds. 54 seconds. That's all the time you need to print out torpedo bomb. And then, okay, so this was actually the only bomb strike I got. I had this patch. Since the rest of the time I was just spamming torpedo bombs. These torpedoes have a better, I mean, they have less alpha than the Kaga. Of course, Kaga has, well, the second best torpedo alpha in the game. When the first is Saipan, since she gets 4 American torps, and then comes Kaga, and then we have Enterprise and Lexington tied up at the same time. But the thing is that American carriers, their torps have the advantage of being really tight. I mean, well, rather tight than Kaga, right? So you get to have more reliable strikes and hits compared to Kaga, where the preparation time of the torps is just, I don't know, another ship length, and ships can angle in. So I personally don't like Kaga, but I would prefer the American carrier since the torpedo strikes are easier to land and more reliable. So here you can see me adjusting my autopilot, getting cocky as usual. And since Enterprise is such a ship relying heavily on her torp bombers, maybe you've noticed, maybe you wanted to ask me, Corey, why do you run torpedo healing, torpedo bomber, that healing skill that gives your planes an extra heal, and also 0.2 seconds boost? And that's a good question, since Enterprise is just so relying on her torp bombers, and they are a bit weak. When I mean weak, I mean like you go in for a strike, and then I might lose 3 on my way there, on my way to the target ship, and then drop. It doesn't happen on Lexington, since Lexington has faster planes. I mean, just a tiny bit faster, but it's something, right? And then I just use them more often on Enterprise because they are more reliable. They have really good regen and they strike as hard as Lexington. They're just a bit slower. So, of course, it's pretty natural thing to think that, oh, so I lose more torpedo bombers on Enterprise than Lexington, since well, of course, because I've used them more often than Lexington. I can switch to my dive bombers, I have really good H-bar rockets, and that is what makes Lexington strong. I get to rotate. But Enterprise, her rockets are for destroyers and seal clubbing some certain battleships, maybe rocketing carriers, since you can always get 2 strikes on a carrier with the rockets if it's a full squad. And the dive bombers are a Kremlin special, where it's just funny, man. They are so RNG reliant. I only use them on Russian battleships or when I'm out of planes. Spamming torps is something not common in, I don't spam torps in Lexington. Maybe it's just myself, but I should. Maybe I should adopt a different playstyle. But as you can see, Enterprise is just that good by printing planes. Like, look right here. I think I still have 3 torp bombers in the air, 2 in reserve, and 8 right now. Like 8 in my squad, in my current squad. So that's like 13 planes in total. And if you noticed, Enterprise only has 16 torpedo bombers, like maximum on the deck. So basically, you can read that as I used 3 heals, but I only lost 3 torpedo bombers in total. So basically, I can't run out of planes. Basically, I can't at the moment. I have, look, 3 plus 6. Yep, that's 9 already. And I have 5 more in the air. That's 14. I already have 14 torpedo bombers, and it's 14 minutes in the match. I still have my most reliable strike power, even though I've been spamming them in the entire match. And unlike Kaga only has her own torpedo bombers at the very start of the match. You get, I don't know, 36 plus 2 maybe, 36 plus 2, 38, and then like that really long preparation time for a torpedo bomber. Yeah, all right, I really need to take a break and take a sip of my honey lemonade. All right, give me a second, please. Alright, back. Here you can see me rocketing this Nakano since she's only 4k HP left. Our team is still losing, so we better get some kills and end this match in a favorable way. By the way, it wouldn't be really ideal to push into B since there are 2 carriers, and we definitely can't get that cap because we don't have a destroyer left. Our Vauquelin doesn't even have smoke, and it's already dead, so it's not gonna work here. But if we kill, I mean, we suddenly had the advantage, but I honestly think that's not gonna be enough. New Mexico just fell down, and here I was expecting to do 2 strikes on this hipper to kill her, but somehow my big brain told me that, oh, it's actually turning into my torch, so I just went straight to line up that hipper, and I thought a second strike was needed, but nope, killed him. And this Edinburgh was AFK, luckily. And as you can see, this was about the end of the match. And like, look right here. My rockets are full. I have full torpedo. I have almost full torpedo bombers, and I have, well, even though my consumables are all used up, I have all my dive bombers, and I've landed 33 torps, 16 minutes and a half into the match. I'm still able to fight in the tier 6 mode. Even though this Massa has been flapping his plane. Well, maybe I would have lost more planes if I was going to get into Massa, but this is how good Enterprise is. This is why a lot of people consider Enterprise as a really strong ship, maybe overpowered compared to Lexington and Saipan, but honestly, Lexington is really good as well. Saipan isn't bad, and I really enjoy Saipan because of her concealment. But anyways, back to our topic. I think I will be making a, well, if you listen this long to me blabbering all about how good Enterprise is, how fascinating the ship. Corin, how did you get Enterprise? Like yelling something like that in chat. I'm just gonna tell you that recently, in the short future, maybe 1 day, 2 days, hopefully I'm hardworking enough. Well, I'm going to release a video comparing tier 8 carriers because it's what I'm most familiar with, and I will tell you, like, comparing all the strike difference, regeneration, which CV is going, which tier 8 CV is going to be the best after the rocket change. And what can you do to adapt to the new, which carriers will take the least amount of impact by the rocket change. But anyways, I do see me seal clubbing right here because of my, I don't know, aggressive positioning, I'd say. I managed to kill 7 ships so far, and managed to save our team, well, especially our hipper, which was really low. If we actually lose our hipper, we might get defeated. But fortunately, I think we're all fine. And here, you can see how weak Kaga AA is, and why I would say if you want to, you can snipe a Kaga. There's something in depth I would like you to see. So I've skipped a lot of drops, a lot of tips maybe I should have mentioned. Well, it's not that important compared to the stuff I just talked about, but here, since the Kaga was spawning flak, like look, this is a 12 plane spawn. Like look, I swirled around to the right, and then here I knew that the flak, like these 2 flak clouds that spawn right here. If I went straight, like if I guided my flight like straight to the left, a bit left of these 2 flak clouds, I would still hit flak. Like these 5 planes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, would still hit these 2 flak clouds, and I'm sure about that. So here, I'm using the start of the attack animation for these 5 planes to get up, so I can choose the minimum route to strike the Kaga, but also not hit flak at the same time. So you can see me do a actually really flexible move. I'm not. I hope I'm sounding humble, but anyways, it's a trick. It's a trick. And by the way, you can see me also take advantage of. Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I think striking the left part, the front of the ship and the back of the ship, saturate. Sorry, my tongue is all tied up. Saturates different parts of the ship. So first time I strike the first half front part, and then I struck the Kaga's rear. I think that doesn't saturate fully. Maybe? Yeah, I think it didn't. Just to let you know, Enterprise rockets have a lower alpha than Lexington and Shogaku, but you get a lot of them, so you have a better chance to strike the enemy ships. So here you have my very remarkable 249k match. I hope you really enjoyed, and I will go to the results page in a second. But I think that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh no! Alright, sorry. Well, I'm still talking. So here I actually only focused my rockets on their Kaga, Benson, finishing off their Nagato. I think that's it. Only 3 ships with rockets. I bombed the Vlad with my bombers because I was a bit low in torp bombers, and the angle wasn't really desirable for me to strike the Vlad with my torp bombers. So, but the rest of the match was me just basically torping non-AA battleships. Yes, that is something true. Maybe you're like, Curran's just steel clubbing, you filthy person, you mean guy. Fucking CV main, something like that. Well, it's there are tough matches, and I would like to share them if you want to watch them. Well, maybe I can go record one more after this match. Yeah, maybe I should, but I don't have such high numbers and stuff. It's just like a paradise once in a while in my tough CV life, I guess. So here I got all the juicy stuff in this match. Team score 3k EXP, something that you don't find that often recently. I damaged 11 ships on their team. And actually the only ship I did not strike was their Trento. Like, come on, Morgan. This Trento, because I just spotted him for my battleships to finish him off. Otherwise, I might have actually struck 12 ships, all 12 ships in the match. And Here I launched 65 torps, some were pre-drop, maybe, I'm not sure, but some did miss, and I know I should improve more my torpedo skills. Of course, I lost a bunch of my torpedo bombers, but as you can see, I still had the strike power at the very end of the match. And that's what's so good about Enterprise. You can't do it with Saipan. Maybe you can do it with Lexington, but you still have to be careful about about your reserve. So maybe you can maybe if you play Lexington, you can blend in some rotation with the dive bombers, the rockets. Yeah, that's how you play Lexington instead of just spamming torpedoes in Enterprise to farm. And yes, in this case, you might. Well, I would say it's honestly a bit boring, as Enterprise to just spam torps, and that's why I enjoy Lexington and Saipan a bit more. But Enterprise is fun. Enterprise is fun. She's a strong ship, and also the ship that made me join World of Warships. And I believe that maybe some of the audience, maybe some viewers listening to my shit talking, maybe this was also the reason that why you got into World of Warships. So there are some summer crates in the anniversary, and I hope you guys get her sometime. So thank you guys for watching again. So I'll see you guys in the next video.